All right. We are live. Eric F. King here. And good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I know people will be watching from all over the place. Today, I am so excited to introduce my good friend, Irene Anggreeni. Say hello to everybody.
Hi, everybody. This is Irene here. And Eric, thank you for having me.
No problem, no problem. So, for all of you that don't know, Irena is a mental health coach, and I actually met her in a high-level mastermind. Okay, so I had the good fortune of getting to know her and all the work that she's doing, and I said I have to introduce her to my audience because she's helping a lot of people all over the world. All right, and especially nowadays, a lot of people are talking about mental health. Like 20 years ago, nobody talked about it, even though it existed, right? But now people are talking about it. So I want us to flesh it out. But before we get there, can you just share with the audience your background, even before you became a mental health coach?
Yes, Eric, with pleasure. So I'm a mental wellness coach, mental health coach, as Eric introduced. And before this coaching, before starting this coaching business, I actually had lived the corporate life. I was also in academia. So I really understand how it is, people, high achieving professionals in a kind of highly driven environment, how we want to also like deliver our best. But there could be a lot of emotions that are holding us back, or that could actually pose a risk to our success. And that's also my own personal journey. So I'm a mental health advocate myself. Like I have lived experience with burnout and depression, and that's why I'm so passionate in this work, because it's also personal to
Yes.
me. Kind of like I see people like sometimes like really kind of high achieving professionals, like they're successful, but also like in their emotional world there's so much going on, and they may not always have the opportunity to address those emotions, or like to talk it through with someone, or to have the right tools. And yeah, that's kind of why I got into this work. So I help people, in business, people in corporates, especially the ones with in leadership roles, to help them have better self-care, have better emotional and mental health, so they can sustain their success. That is not just an overnight success and then burn out the next day.
Yeah.
But, kind of that we can have it both, work-life balance and success at work, but also having a fulfilling personal life.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much. And you brought up a good point because we get excuse me, we get busy in business, right? Like I'm always busy. I have 16-hour days. Even if I'm working from home, it's still busy, right? So I tend not to even think of that. I don't think about, mental wellness or
Yeah.
emotions or anything like that. So if you can just tell us what is the danger of not thinking about it, not worrying about it, and just like maybe suppressing our emotions. Can you share that?
Yeah. Kind of, it's like we are often caught up, in this kind of busy, and we sort of like lost touch with what we are feeling, really, with what emotions going on. And perhaps also the busyness can be a way for us to mask, or to avoid feeling what we need to feel. And the danger of kind of keeping things bottled up, like if it goes on and on, of course, we can start noticing, oh, it creates frustration in our life. Maybe like like we have disappointment, we have anger, we start to have like a lot of self-doubts, about ourselves. And all these negative emotions can trigger a lot of stress as well. And when we are caught in that loop, before we know it, then we are in the state of chronic stress. We are in constant survival mode. And I just thought of one client I have helped, like, she's in that state, like she's being in a chronic stress. Um, and it impacts everything else in her life, her personal relationships, also her physical health as well. Like kind of like, oh, there's some It starts with minor problem, but then like she needed operations and so on. And it also impacts our performance as well, whether we know it or not.
Yes.
And kind of this case with the this person, like she started, to have breathing problems, because of so much stress and anxiety, like not only of her own but also of her people, that kind of it's affecting her, like, oh yeah, kind of, like she couldn't have this breathing space for herself, and it makes also everything else more challenging. So that's the risk, Eric. It's not only our about our mental health, but mental health is always connected with everything else, our physical health and also our emotional health.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much. By the way, I want to welcome Penny. Thank you for that comment. Appreciate you. Yeah, and I know a lot of people are watching from different places, so definitely put questions in the chat so we can ask our expert because she's here today. So we want to ask her some questions, right? So put your questions in there. We'd appreciate it. So thanks, Penny, for that comment. All right. So I want to ask you, how do we deal with these emotions, right? So you said that people have different kinds of emotions that they experience in business and in life, especially juggling everything.
Mm.
So give us some ways to deal with those emotions.
Yeah. First, I would really love to, this is a question I love to share with my clients, also with people. So I'm like, how is the weather inside?
Mm,
Kind of like when we see the literal weather outside, we know, oh, today is going to be a bit rainy. I need to prepare an umbrella or a raincoat, or maybe I just stay at home. Uh, so it's a bit similar. Emotions are like the internal weather condition.
mm,
So we don't need to antagonize them. We don't need to see them as the enemy. And to your questions, Eric, like, how can we deal with intense emotions? Is really by, yeah, kind of really giving space. So giving space, because like we tend, like, when we are in that professional mode, we are in the working mode, we tend to just ignore it or suppress it, push it away. But you know again, like as I mentioned earlier, this could also impact our physical health in the long run. So we really need to diligently also make space, like where we can actually feel what we need to feel.
yes.
And to also listen to these emotions, because they are like messengers, actually, messengers to, like, oh, how are we living our life, actually. Yeah, kind of like if there are a lot of negative emotions accumulating, there's so much unpleasant emotions, yeah, then perhaps something needs to change in our life, right? But also, like, if there's kind of positive emotions, like, how can we, yeah, how can we celebrate, how can we appreciate them, because that also builds confidence in business. Because like, as we know, business is full of ups and downs. That's why we talk about the emotional roller coaster. So both sides needs to be acknowledged. And yeah, kind of that's some of kind of the foundational principles of dealing with emotions. And I could go a bit deeper, like, but I wonder if you have
Yeah.
more
Well,
questions.
yeah, we have time. Like,
Yeah,
if you want to give us some examples of that,
yeah,
like celebration. Yeah,
yeah.
we have several people on the line. We have so many people. Actually, we have a doctor, Dr. Rastafa, a good friend of mine. It's great
Hey,
to have doctors on. We have people from all over the world right now, so I'm excited. And then we're going to share this. By the way, folks, if you're watching, you want to share this with as many people as you can on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. Share it all over. Don't keep this to yourself, because this is an important topic that people need. You literally cannot just change a life, but you can save a life if you send this to the right person. All right. So
yeah,
send this out. So yeah. So go ahead. You can go deeper
yeah.
in whatever you want to talk about.
Yes, yeah. Thanks for giving the space for this, because what I didn't mention in my introduction is also that I train as a clinical dance movement therapist. And so, yeah, that means, like, I bring in the perspective of the body and the nervous system as well. Um, and kind of like when we are dealing with a lot of emotions, that's not only yeah, that's on, not only mental, not only in our mind, but it's our whole being experiencing also that emotion, because literally there are a lot of biochemical reactions happening in our body. That's why we feel something. And
Yes.
emotions are at its core, they are the physical sensations. And yeah, they are kind of like messengers again. So really, like, to pay attention, like to make, when we make that space for emotions, to take yeah, to pay attention as well to what is the sensations actually, of, like, maybe we don't even have a word for, what we are feeling, but the
Yes.
sensations are always there. And this goes like also like a very in a very practical way, when we are observing, like what are the sensations in our body, like what is the body trying to say to us, that also automatically like gives us that pause, yeah, that kind of slowing down, that calming, because we are not then yeah, kind of, hustling again, like in our busyness and so on. And yeah, like there are ways to process these emotions, like sometimes observing them, yeah,
Okay.
could really help. Like, oh, okay, just acknowledge that it's there. We are not suppressing, we are also not reactively, acting out our emotions, but just observing. But sometimes with really strong emotions, or perhaps like if it's old emotions that been suppressed for a long time, then we need also yeah, a gentle and safe way to process them and to start releasing them.
Okay.
So I love to give the analogy, another analogy of
All right. We love that.
us, yeah, us as a system. It's like this pressure cooker.
Okay.
So I don't know if any one of you cooks with pressure cooker, the one
Yes.
that is a psst, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so you can imagine like yeah, we are like, like that pressure cooker, and then how can we let out the steam
Wow. I like that.
gently, like not too big, not explosive all at once,
Yes.
but, kind of in a safe way and in a regulated way.
I
And
love
that
that.
can be very much also involving our body, not just talking, but yeah, through dance, movement, or other creative expressions.
That's awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. We actually have another doctor on.
Wow.
Yes. So this is amazing. So, by the way, folks, give
Yeah.
StreamYard permission to show your name, so it doesn't show LinkedIn user. It actually shows your name. But we do have a doctor that I
Okay.
put up a question. She said, I often address stressors with my weight loss
Mm.
clients. Can you discuss some stress reduction techniques you recommend for busy professionals? So, and by the way, she's a doctor. I do know her. So, go ahead.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That's a really great questions. And yeah, kind of, I really love it that, addressing the stressors is important. It's really crucial because, we could be doing all the good things, like, doing all the self-care activities and so on. But if we are not addressing the stressors, it's like we are, yeah, pouring water in a leaky bucket, like
Mhm.
things just goes away again. So addressing like yeah, stress reduction, kind of one example I mentioned is really involving the body, kind of really just bringing some gentle movement.
Okay.
um, yeah, kind of especially like if it's like a stress, like with together with frustration. uh yeah, this is just an example, yeah, kind of like I don't know what's the exact context is, but it could also work like, like a kind of really tensing up, like, okay, what is it, like just really feel lean in that stress or frustration
Mhm.
uh in your body, like how does the body wants to express it, like now I'm making a fist, like a clenched fist like this, and acknowledge that stress, like, and then also to be able to release,
Mhm.
kind of like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
an embodied way of doing it. But there are a lot of techniques, kind of the stress reduction, for instance, like this is also in my one of my resource, like some, some actions that you can do to uplift emotion and reduce stress is this technique called it's called stop.
Stop. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's an acronym. So yeah, it starts with stopping, really just stopping whatever we are doing right now, like if we are in stress, in anxiety, then like if we are being so reactive, yeah, it could maybe even make things worse. So kind of really stop whatever you're doing right now, stop for a moment, and then you can take, take a breath, or take a walk if it's possible, or just like take an action to take care of yourself there and then. And observe also, like again observing like what's going on, like in your body, or what's going on in your mind, what's going on in your emotions. And then the P is for, yeah, you could either like, you could make a new plan, for instance,
Okay.
or you can take another perspective. Maybe you talk with someone you trust, like what's your perspective about this. So it's like a, yeah, the acronym stop.
I love it. I
That's
love it.
one, yeah, one thing, yeah.
I love it. Thank you so much. You know, when you
Mhm.
talk about tensing up and releasing, I actually read that in a book called the Story of McDonald's. Ray Kroc, the guy that started the McDonald's system, right? Well,
Mhm.
duplicated it. He talked about how every night when he's laying on the bed, he would tense his whole body up and then release it.
Yeah.
Right? And I started doing that, and it works. It
Wow.
actually works. I learned it in a book I read for business, right? He said
Yeah.
that he would do that every day. And
Mhm.
then in addition to exercise, running or jogging. So that's what I do. I do what you said. And then I walk every day. I don't work out as much as I should, right? So what do you think about that? Like walking, running, working out, things of that nature.
Absolutely. Yeah, these are also kind of I see those as self-care activities as well. Yeah, kind of you're getting in movement, you're getting your exercise, and this is also, what I love to share with people. Kind of like sometimes self-care, we imagine it as, oh, something so elaborate, something, like that it has, I have to spend a lot of time in the gym, or I have to train so hard to get my exercise going. But like all these things, Eric, what you mentioned, those are something that can easily be incorporated into our busy life. Like, okay, taking a walk, maybe during your lunch, just around the block. Or I see that you're also standing
Yes,
right now.
yes,
Yeah, that's
yes.
also kind of
I do that
encouraging
a lot.
movement. I'm
Mhm.
also standing right now.
Yes. Right.
And yeah, just anytime you have an opportunity, kind of, especially like if we are, a lot of us are working on our desk, kind of have that opportunity to get up and move around. If we receive a call on the phone, okay, let's take it on a walk. And those are also, yeah, those are really valid
Very
self-care
good.
activities.
Very good. Awesome. So the someone wants to know the acronym. Can you repeat stop? So I
Yeah,
think I missed of it. So S is I'm putting it in
yeah,
the chat.
as is stop.
S is stop.
Stop
Okay.
whatever you're doing. And
Okay.
then T is, yeah, take a breath or take a walk if it's possible.
Take a
And
walk.
O is for observe.
Okay. Observe.
Observe your feelings, observe your sensation, your physical sensations, observe, what's going on in your mind. And
Okay.
P is, it can be anything you want. It actually, it could be planning for a new action, or you could ask for another perspective, or maybe you need to take a longer pause. That's also possible.
Or
This is, by the way, yeah, this is, by the way, I will share later. This is one of my resource. It's called the 21 Mindful Actions to Uplift
awesome.
Emotion. So this is
Awesome.
number 10 in that 21 in the list of.
Okay, good. Love it, love it. And thanks, Rob. Thanks, Rob, for that. So I put it in the chat. Very good. Appreciate it, Rob. By the way, Rob, another good friend of mine. She's been in several of my online events. So we have a lot of people here from all
Wow.
over. This is amazing, amazing. You are popular. You're a star.
Wow.
I knew that before. Now I'm glad that everybody else knows. Everybody else knows. All right. So, is there anything? Because I know you're going to give everybody a great resource, but if you can just tell us a couple things, maybe in that book, just a
Mm,
couple things that will give people, more ideas on how to reduce or eliminate the stress and
mm,
anxiety of life. Because I think nowadays things are busier than they used to be. Because you have things going on, then you have the phone, then you have like all kinds of things. Just in the 90s, like we didn't have all this. Like we didn't have all this.
yeah, yeah.
So if you
Yeah.
can just share a little bit.
Yeah. I want to acknowledge, it's really we live in a overstimulated world, and for me, I'm actually a highly sensitive person. So this also gets all too much. Like so um, we cannot what you mentioned, Eric. We cannot really eliminate stress.
Okay.
Kind of the stress is always coming. Like, but we can actually change how we respond to it,
Mm,
and we could prevent it, yeah, kind of by building a habits, somehow that we could prevent this roller coaster to always be going on in our life. But if we are in that roller coaster, also how to navigate it safely. And also, like, yeah, maybe we are in recovery, we just had the roller coaster of our life, so we need to yeah, to take care of ourselves as we recover so that we can bounce back.
yes.
um and yeah, so now I forgot what was the question. I was talking so much.
Uh, well, I know. I just want you to give us to go no, just to
Yeah.
go deeper. Whatever you want to add. Nothing in particular.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, it's really, kind of to talk about the like creating, like a oh yeah, managing stress. Yeah, it's really about building the habits. Yeah, we cannot do it in one go. All right, like stress, I don't want you anymore in my life, because it doesn't work that way. But really building that positive habits, and yeah, it can be, for each person it will be unique. Maybe for some, okay, it just needs for someone, they may need to take more downtime, yeah, to really switch off, or to yeah, for some maybe they need more movement, more
Yes.
gentle movement in their life. And for some maybe, like, like especially if someone is dealing with imposter syndrome, or like negative self-talk, those are all, my old friends. So maybe like there's,
So
yeah,
true.
there's more like practice of self appreciation, um, or yeah, gratitude. But it could also, stress could also show up in the relationship, for instance. Like,
Okay.
sometimes like we don't notice that, yeah, what's going on here, like my relationship are kind of yeah, getting flat, or like I feel so distant from my loved ones. Then yeah, we probably need to work on also, like, okay, how do we communicate with others, how do we rekindle, like that intimacy perhaps. And all through this, yeah, we also need to be really self-compassionate to ourselves. Yeah,
Yes.
because like there's the feeling maybe like, oh yeah, I need to fix myself, I need to, before I can be successful in my business. But kind of it's something we need to let go as well, that hey, like we are good as we are always work in progress. But
Yes.
now we also have that capacity within, we have the resource, and we can be our own best supporters. But we can also yeah, draw support from our communities, from the
Yes.
people in our life.
Yes, I love that. I'm just taking notes because I'm a scholar. I
Mm.
like to take notes. Okay, so um, you talked about self compassion, and it's funny because, as you know, I'm a
Yeah.
sales coach, right? And my whole brand is compassionate closer, right? Be compassionate to people, and
Yeah.
and and you brought up a good point. You have to be compassionate to yourself. I
Mhm.
always tell people, don't beat yourself up.
Mm.
Like, we are our worst critic. Some of the things we say to ourselves, if somebody else said it to us, those are fighting words. We'd fight them. But we
Yeah.
say it to ourselves all the time, right? I
Mhm.
suck, or I this, or I that. Like, and it's amazing when you just said it, it hit me that I'm going to start talking about that, right? Be
Mm.
compassionate to yourself. And then it's easier for you to be compassionate to other people, right?
Absolutely.
Because when nobody's perfect, we make mistakes all the time. I was on a podcast this morning. I made a mistake and my light went out, and and then it came back on. But you know what? I'm okay with that because I'm human,
Yeah.
right? And people, if people are going to disconnect with me, or they're not going to follow me because I had an issue with my light, then they're not my audience,
Mm.
right? Because we're human, right? We make mistakes. So
Absolutely.
I like the fact that one of the things that we need to do, like you said, is be compassionate to ourselves. Don't take things so seriously. Like, it's okay, we all make mistakes.
Mm.
So I love that.
Yeah.
Another thing you said about, you said everybody, like, well, there's always going to be stress. right?
Mm.
I think it was Jim Rohn that said, "Don't ask for less problems, ask for more wisdom, ask for more skills." Right?
Wow. Yeah.
That's exactly what you're saying. Don't pray for less problems. Like, I don't want to be stressed, God. I don't want to be stressed. Instead, find a way to deal with the stress, because the stress will come, especially if you're doing something in life. I'm sure you would agree.
Yeah, and it's also the funny thing, Eric, actually those stressful situations, that's where we forge our skills. Yeah, because
Absolutely.
if they don't come around, then we never learn, like, oh, how it is, to face the situation. How do we, yeah, how do I build a skill to address it next time with
Yes.
more wisdom? Really
Absolutely.
spot on. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like you and I on this mastermind, which stretches us, right? And one
Yeah.
of the things we do is we have to speak in studio, right?
Mhm.
In a studio. And for many of us, it's our first time, right? To see, the lights and the cameras and everything. And it creates stress.
Yeah.
But what, but it's good stress, because it's stress that makes us better, right? It's stress that takes us to another level, gets us out of our comfort zone. So yeah, so I love that. I love that. Could you speak to that point, that
Mm,
how, it's okay to
mm.
have bigger goals and even create some stress, as long as it's positive and it's helping you move
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you mentioned about the good level of stress. Yeah, that's also really kind of what I encourage people to seek that for themselves, because like we have like our comfort zone, like where we are just everything feels easy. Um, then there's also the out, like if we reach out a bit further outside, that's our growth zone.
Growth
Yeah.
zone. I love
Yeah,
that.
but
Growth zone.
then yeah, I don't remember who coined this. It's definitely not me. I read this somewhere. I don't remember.
Okay.
Then also like this growth zone is also something that we need to, yeah, to be aware of ourselves. Because if we push it even further, like then that's the panic zone or something. We
Wow.
shouldn't kind of go into a panic zone each time, but
Yes.
like, all right, what is a good growth zone for us? And for everyone that's different. And
Yes.
yeah, that's also, like this good stress, that's inviting us to, yeah, to build skill, to build capacity, yeah, kind of to face our fears and to be courageous.
Okay.
Because in the end, like, why are we doing what we are doing? And it's like, really, we have a goal, we have a vision. We want to, yeah, to make an impact, we want to help others. And
Yes.
if we really connect with those, like our innermost goals, like, then yeah, it just feels then a bit ridiculous. Why would I give in to the fear? I have like, like so much to give
Yes.
by showing up. And yeah, that's
Yes.
kind of, like, what I want to share. Like, if people are dealing with, some insecurity, some self-doubts, hey, we all are. We all are.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and kind of, Eric, like, we really are on the same page about compassion also. That's the self-compassion to ourselves, like knowing that it's nothing wrong if you feel that, because I think, like, there's also a study, like people who are, yeah, who are smart, like they have that doubts, they feel that imposter syndrome. If
Yes.
you don't
Yes.
feel it at all, then you should be worried.
Yeah, you're not human if you don't feel it at all. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. And and you're absolutely right. I tell my kids, I said, look, they have all these YouTubers they follow.
Hmm.
And they look at them like they live an incredible life and they have everything together. I'm like, they have problems just like you. They have problems just like they're good at masking it, right? They have a great image online, but they have the same kind of problem. So don't nobody's better than you. They're not better than you. So it's important for us to realize that we all go through things. We all sometimes it's good not to meet your idol, not to meet you, because you meet your idol and you find out that he's a normal guy or she's a normal guy. She's a normal lady, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. I've got so many notes right now,
Mm.
and people are loving it. So right now, if you can just tell us, maybe wrap it up, or something that you want to share with us before you tell us how we can get the free resource.
Yeah. Yeah. Perhaps, like to give a recap, the important nuggets is really, like to really not antagonize, to not see our emotions or stress as the enemy.
Mm,
Yeah, and we have that's also the invitation of life. Like, hey, kind of we are invited to build skills, to build our capacity, to learn. Like to learn new. New possibilities to deal with those stressful situations, and also to not forget that we have also not just the mind, but we have also the body, and how wonderful it is. Like it can make things feel much easier, like when the mind and the body works together, yeah, kind of in achieving our goals.
yes.
And like the practical details, what the concrete actions, that's something I'm happy to share more, through my resource, or like when people get in touch directly with me.
Okay. Okay. And so since we are there, how can people get in touch with you? Okay. And then how can they get your free resource? Because I know everybody here wants it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So if you're on LinkedIn, just connect. Yeah, don't just follow, connect, and send me a message on LinkedIn. Just say hello, like 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 met you at Eric's live, and yeah. So as I mentioned, I have this inspiration guide. It's free to download. It's called the 21 Mindful Actions to Uplift Emotion. And these are really small, concrete actions that don't feel, like they don't feel so overwhelming. It doesn't take all your time. It doesn't feel like an extra chore on your to-do list, so that you can easily use it in your busy life. And to download this, go to my website. It's leaderstroughdepression.com, and you can see a button like download your gift, so you can click there, and yeah, and then you will have access to this freebie. And this is really if you want to build positive habits to prevent yourself like getting into that roller coaster, or if you are in there now, to navigate it well, yeah, so that that you can have the opportunity to bounce back, to recuperate from it.
Awesome.
And
Awesome.
can I add one more thing, Eric?
Absolutely. Definitely.
So yeah, because like if you feel, and anyone watching here like through the recording, or like live right now, bless you, Eric.
Thank you. Thank you.
So if you want to receive support right now, because you feel that this emotional roller coaster is interfering with your goals, so just today I actually opened up my calendar for goal setting calls. Yeah, so I don't share the link publicly because I have just limited spots. But if you really need this and you want this right now, just connect and drop me a message on LinkedIn or by email, because I would really love to support you, with setting your goal and your plan for the rest of this year. Like, we have what, like 14, 15 weeks left.
I know. Amazing. Can you
So
believe it?
exactly, yeah. So yeah, just make use of this opportunity. I would really love to support you.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you very much. Well, you guys, you heard it. You heard it here. And I'm a big believer on taking action, right? Don't be passive, be active, right? So if what Irena talked about today, if it resonates with you, then reach out to her. Reach out to her. Schedule a time on her calendar. Get to know her. Talk to her. Find out more about how she can help you, right? Don't be passive. She said they want you to share your website in the chat.
Yes, I'm doing that right
Okay,
now.
she's doing that right now. All right. So yeah, don't be passive, right? Take action. Especially with the topic that she's talking about today. You don't want to keep going like that. You want to make a change. You want to do something. So reach out to her. Yeah, you can download the ebook. Definitely you want to download the ebook. But more importantly, if it's something that it's bothering you, it's bothering you, then connect with her, get on her calendar, and let her give you some help. Even if you don't join any kind of coaching or anything like that, you'll get some information that can help you, right? So I always tell people, don't be passive, be active. So thank you. So she put her information in the chat there. I see it on YouTube. I'm not sure if it's on LinkedIn, but either way, we'll put it on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
We'll put it on LinkedIn. So if you're on YouTube, Eric F. King, you'll see it there. LinkedIn, we're going to put it on there anyway. So what I can actually do is I'll copy and paste just in case it's not there, so we can put it there also. Yeah, we'll put it there also. So you'll have it. And make sure, folks, that you share this with as many. I want this to go viral because I want us to change some lives. All right. And I want us to change lives and possibly even save lives with your information. So let's make it viral. Let's send it out to our pages, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, wherever you are, Instagram, Snapchat. Do they still exist? Anyway, Twitter, just put it out there. Let this go viral. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Irene. Thank you so much. It's a
Thank
plum
you.
pleasing pleasure to meet you and have the opportunity to interview you.
Thank you so much, Eric. And everyone, like especially like if you feel like, yeah, kind of the entrepreneurship is it can be a tough life, but you are not alone, and support is here.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for having me, Eric.
Thank you. No problem. All right, folks. We'll be leaving for now, and we look forward to seeing you at our subsequent events. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye bye.